then again, if you have estrogen, all hope is lost. So instead of reviewing WWE Raw like I did, I reacted to it, of course, like usual. But instead of reviewing it, I wanted to, which brings me right, here today. I wanted to talk about Logan Paul, especially since, he was going to be there that night. He was going to be there at Raw last night, and he was going to be there to, to be announced into the Money in the Bank. And that's actually, that's very, very good news. That's couldn't be the best news that I've heard all year. Also, is that Logan Paul is going to be in the Money in the Bank, and I feel like when it comes to things like this, I'm definitely for, I've been saying and kind of preaching that the fact that someone especially like what we've all seen that like Logan Paul is a better worker, especially being like a better worker than the whole roster. Like Logan Paul, like not only having like being like, and that's insane. Never heard of a outside, especially like being at basically a celebrity, but him being an influencer and just strictly just like a public figure outside, practically a celebrity, regardless if he's whether it's an athlete or just a YouTuber, influencer, whatever you want to call him. Like obviously that's never been heard of, or and that's the first time since that's like happened when it comes to Logan Paul. Somebody has like WWE, they've had of course, but when you talk about celebrities being involved, but not to the degree of when it comes to Logan Paul. And just like I said last night, if you saw a little clip, of course you can just go back to watch it. But like I said last night, I absolutely believe that Logan Paul should win this Money in the Bank. Logan Paul should be the Money in the Bank 2023 winner of this year. Absolutely, like without a doubt. Like, can you imagine the reaction, especially the ugly mongrels, itty bitty onto like IWC on Twitter. Like, can you imagine it? But actually, to be serious, but can you just imagine the reaction? Also, just like imagine just the the sort of reaction that WWE would get for this. Like, and you're talking about not only just like putting like something significant on somebody, like still is Logan Paul, and he's still like one of like the best personalities, and like when it comes in entertainment today. Not like especially like being one of the he has the like the best podcast, one of the best podcasts that gets a lot of people that tunes in. So why not? And why not? Like definitely, why not have Logan Paul? Why not, like, if you want to actually make history, and like, can you like imagine, like, because I don't think it's besides this, I don't think like that WWE has actually had somebody of significance, or like actual history. Like when you talk about actual history, like can you imagine, like, don't even want to bring up that not the 4 horsewomen bullshit, and I don't think anything, not any like the fabricated fake ass history that WWE has tried to feed you over the years, and that they continue to do so. Nobody except the brand, as barely as it is WWE, is recognizable of today. Nobody knows or cares about the people on WWE's roster. And that's what you gotta face, like, regardless if you like it or not. It's the simplistic facts. Like, outside, I said the brand itself, and that's the problem that WWE has made it themselves. They made it to where like nobody knows. Like I said, besides the people that very do much know, that nobody knows who, regardless of who is in WWE, but nobody knows the people itself besides WWE. like I said, you can hate it or not like it. In fact, like, you know, but that's how. It's strictly that's what it is today, and that's like I said, like of course it has to do with WWE to begin with, but like I said, can you imagine? I said like not just like the name itself, but imagine just if WWE were to actually have that pay-per-view and have Logan Paul go in there and win the whole damn thing, and have Logan Paul as the new Money in the Bank winner. That would definitely do wonders for WWE, especially actually having. Like I said, can you imagine the history, the actual history, real history that they would be making, as this would never be done before. It's never been heard of before. Let's say you already have the actuality that you have such the standards that they've set with Logan Paul and Bad Bunny. When you talk about celebrities being able to compete at this level, it's never been like that before. When you talk about just pure, of course, charisma and him being able to work himself in the ring, like he's been on the roster already for like the last 10 or 5 years. Like he's already been there. That's crazy. And for him to actually win the Money in the Bank, like first time influencer or just actual celebrity or YouTuber or whatever, to win the Money in the Bank, can y'all imagine that? Like I said, real history being made. Like I said, not no, 4 horsewomen, like the women's evolution bullshit. Not any like, of course. Like I said whatever that WWE is pretended to tell people, the newer generation, for years, that they have, because they know that nobody else in the world gives a fuck outside of just that the people that they have in the WWE right now. And like I said, not that this is a bad thing, but to be honest. Like I said, if you really want to make a start, like I said, as it's barely struggling as it is, because it's going to get to a point where nobody's barely even watching NXT, and it's already bad enough for WWE as a whole that they don't have any new stars. Like I said, outside of really just Roman, and I'm just like, that's been just another current problem, which they don't have any new people to sell their market, especially just being that itself. So yeah, for definitely, just like I told when we talked about with Braun Breaker, like I said, and I wanted to bring it, like, just think about it, like what have they actually made history or started to make some type of noise when it came to CM Punk, back in 2011, and the Shield, or like Daniel Bryan. Like, what actual history have they made in the last decade? Like, besides, honestly, that's the things that come up to mind too. Like, what actual history have they made? And you can cry about it all you want, but like I said, like, I mean, instead of me actuality, I'm just strictly just telling it how it is. Like, you can, what's the actual history that they've had in the last, especially like last 20-30 years. Of course, it's been Hulk Hogan putting just basically wrestling on the map, and whether you talk about actual just star power, when you talk about whether it's the Stone Cold or the Rock, catapulting them in the mainstream, and I guess that's John Cena, the last megastar, basically, or essentially, or if you want to be like kind of Roman Reigns also. So it's not why, if you want to talk about actual like setting a new bar and going into a new era, a monumental era, have Logan Paul win the Money in the Bank. Cause what else, like you just like you knew signing him and like prancing him around, like expect, like come on man, like what like besides the fact of that, what's the actual point that he's like, what's the point that he's here if it's not to just help WWE and it really puts y'all back in the spotlight? So I mean, it's a pretty no-brainer, man. Like, I definitely, like, I would, like I said, I know, like, when I talk about, like, winning LA Knight, but, what, because y'all want, what, like, who do y'all really, of course, but, like, I think people really cares about these wrestlers that y'all want going into the Money in the Bank. What, Ricochet? his crying ass talking about he's not getting opportunities, it's because you don't have no charisma, no character. That's why you're not getting the opportunities that you're getting. As a Seth Rollins or AJ Styles or Cody Rhodes, we got Rich A bitching out here to like what? Cause a Shinsuke Nakamura or I like the guy, but a Damian Priest, like. What? Because they deserve it. And that's another thing that I'm just so fucking sick and tired of hearing. Like these people, y'all want these wrestlers. We want these wrestlers to be put on a pedestal because what they deserve it. I know, like. I definitely believe they should go in this direction and have, absolutely. If you really want to set records and have actual, real records, real history, for sure, they should definitely have Logan Paul win the Money in the Bank. Because this would really, really help y'all out. This would really bring people back. Things. What's going on right? Like I said, with the thing with Logan Paul is just like you can look at that. Like Logan Paul and Bad Bunny. What things like that? Why not just have them? Like I said, when it comes to being part of the center of that in that threshold and just garner in a new era where you can have for the first time in history. This hasn't happened before, especially in the world of professional wrestling. And this would really, like I said, this would really help, bring a lot of eyes back into wrestling, or just strictly just WWE. This would really be a good thing, and I definitely feel like they should, Logan Paul should do it. But I want to talk about LA Knight. I do like LA Knight, and definitely want better things for him. But I forgot to mention that they have Logan Paul, supposedly LA Knight is supposed to be the favorite to win the Money in the Bank, but let's be real honest here. The dude's in his 40s. Even someone like a Bianca Belair, she's already in her 30s. So it's why not have somebody, especially when you talk about celebrities, why not have somebody, especially someone like a Logan Paul too, be at the center and just that's it. You can do it for the first time in history. Have somebody like a Logan Paul, and have him go in there and win that Money in the Bank. Just like I said, just think about how the buzz that it would create, especially just for wrestling, WWE and wrestling as a whole. This would really be you would really be doing something. But like I said, if you really want to go back to just people just like these wrestlers, whether it has to be that they deserve it, or because they're just there because why not, they deserve it, right? No. I said this could be really history right here if WWE want to really set box office records, because you're already talking about adding star power. You're really giving people a reason also again, and really just back, putting, really want to. I said you're struggling for star power, you're really struggling for your also just, I said whatever that may be of the regard, this, you need to do this. WWE needs to do this. For sure, definitely, Logan Paul should be the Money in the Bank winner 2023. And like I said, I understand you have your opinion or not, but like I said, if you don't, I guess if you really don't see that, if you don't see the bigger picture, I guess, when talking about Logan Paul winning the Money in the Bank, then there's always somebody. If you're still talking about a wrestler that's already on the roster, like I said, everybody's open to their opinion, but if you like I said, I don't think people really think about when they talk about when it really comes to, especially that wrestling is in the hole that it's in now. That if you desperately, because you have people you really want to believe. I said it's good to be, no, of course, but you really have to stop pretending and acting like lying to yourself to really think that professional wrestling is alive. Like, wrestling people, professional wrestling is alive and well, and it's really in the like come on, man, stop with the bullshit. Like, stop. Like, if you want to lie to yourself, that's okay, but don't lie to people like me when we already know the reality.